Welcome, everyone. Melinda Zarate with Emboldened Heart. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. I would like to especially welcome any new listeners, and I know that there are new listeners. Thank you so much for being with us. I'd like to share a little bit of information about Emboldened Heart. Emboldened Heart is an online global training academy that was formed just over a year ago for the purpose of encouraging heart-based living and personal transformation. And it's my mission and passion to bring you information, education, tips, tools, methods, and wonderful guest speakers who will share their insights, their concepts, their healing modalities, and the information that they have been gifted with and developed to help you to transform your life in whatever way your heart desires. So that is our purpose and our goal and our mission, and we're so happy to have you with us. My special guest today is someone who I know personally. She's a dear friend of mine. She and I have really kind of had parallel paths in certain ways, and I'm just so delighted to have her back on Emboldened Heart. Our special guest today is Brenda Pearce. And Brenda has a really beautiful and interesting story. After the life-altering event of her husband's illness, a number of years ago, holding the threads of her family together, Brenda was gifted with a 5-minute Reiki session, which changed her life forever. Connecting with Reiki helped Brenda to understand that there is more to our life experience than just the flesh and bones that we see. She learned that we are truly energetic beings, which have the potential to assist one another in ways that were really very foreign to her nursing training. She learned that wellness is dependent on well-being in the energetic as well as the physical being, and that to have true happiness, one must address the emotional, physical, and spiritual bodies. Brenda is a Reiki master teacher, and she studied other modalities of therapeutic touch and integrated energy therapy. She is also a quick pulse practitioner. She's always seeking new and varied ways of working with the biomatrix. She's also founder and host of the Healthy, Wealthy Evolution, a telesummit series in which she also interviews many wonderful and enlightened minds of our times in the realm of reaching our fullest health and well-being potentials. And I'd like to just welcome again Brenda Pearce. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Melinda. Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy to be back with you again and with your beautiful and growing audience. It is such a pleasure to spend this time with you. I feel like we're soul sisters.
I do, too. I absolutely do. And I know that there are just so many things that are going on that we're both helping to contribute to, and it's just a real wonderful partnership, isn't it? To be helping kind of advance people's understandings and their experience of joy and well-being and wholeness. So
it is. It's
thank you for your part.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for your huge, beautiful heart, your emboldened heart, and how you have enriched lives through your processes and your seminars and all the heartfelt work that you do. Many blessings and much love and continued success to you.
Thanks, Brenda. That's very nice. I really appreciate it. It's super important for us to have a support system, and you certainly have become a big part of mine.
And mutual. And it's true, I honestly believe seminar series are like the kitchen tables that the women used to sit around and share recipes. The seminar series format has become the new kitchen table, and we are sharing recipes of wisdom and truth and enlightenment and helping the world to be a better place. And so this is such a beautiful, beautiful thing to do, is creating these heartfelt relationships and making the world richer because of the recipe of wisdoms that we share.
I love that analogy. It's absolutely right on. That's exactly what's going on. It is kind of like a kitchen table. It's informal. It's conversational. fun, it's interesting. Sometimes it brings out emotions, all those things that happen when you're in a warm and comfortable setting and you're open. So, really nice analogy.
Thank you. We just have to make it real because, we're real people. We're not people on a pedestal somewhere up in the clouds talking to the ethers. We're here and we're sharing this wisdom and sharing our own personal truths and our heartfelt tragedies and triumphs, and ultimately reaching into developing our soul success system for our lives and really understanding that we are more than what we think we are.
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to ask. I know you have some kind of, I think, very important and unique information that you're going to be sharing with the listeners today. And the topic that our discussion is going to center on today is releasing resistance and opening to receptivity. So I'd like for you to maybe just share what are the secrets of connecting to your own personal soul success signature. How can the listeners begin to do that?
Oh, well, thank you, Melinda, and what a wonderful question to start with. I think our soul success signature is inside each and every one of us, and it lives in the space, the sacred space behind our heart. And when we really get to know that space and start to clear away the gunk, it's amazing what joy and lightness comes into your heart and your life because we really do know our truth. The problem is we've been gummed up by the gunk of the 3D existence that's all around us, bills that need to be paid, lack of money, lack of time, lack of relationship, disharmony, dis-ease. It goes on and on and on. And we get polluted with distractions as well. So we get, and there's nothing wrong with entertainment, as long as you balance it out with good stuff. I mean, entertainment is great for distraction, but it doesn't necessarily attract to us our truth. It is somebody else's version of the truth, or it is, very, very yucky and mucky, or it can be very not of our experience, really, but it is a distraction to take us away from the gunk and munk of whatever's going on in our 3D world. So with all that in mind, it's easy for us to kind of lose track of who we really are. We become somebody else's wife, mother, employee. We become all these other things, but how often are we in tune with our own reality? And it's easy to say that lots of times we're not. But beautiful formats like teleseminar series, like what we are doing here today, and all the wisdom and wise people out there who are speaking their truth, helping us to raise the vibrational frequency, is helping us to uncover who we really are. So with that in mind, with that in mind, it's important for us to maybe look at this today's event as another way of adding another beautiful petal to the rose of life and giving us the chance to smell the beautiful fragrance of who we really are and just bask in the freedom of who we really are and love who we really are. Because the thing is, when we have all these other distractions, it makes us not really like who we really are because we're not measuring up to this or that or something else, and it adds to the stress that is in the world. And we know, Melinda, that there's so many studies out there, and I don't have to hound this one. Stress kills. Stress causes disease. Stress is really a premature ager of this beautiful vessel that holds our soul essence. And so it is important for us to understand how to release that stress. And releasing that stress can actually lead to your success. And that soul success signature is then revealed. So that is my mission here today, is to help people uncover who they really are.
Hooray. That's exactly what everyone really does want. I mean, when you take away all the trappings and all the stuff and all the distraction. That's what we all want, and that's what we all deeply desire. So, very, very true. Well, I know that your experience, kind of your background was in nursing and in healthcare, and that you really had a lengthy career in nursing, and that you were actually under a lot of stress in your personal life. Would you be willing to maybe share a little bit about your story and what led you to now be doing this incredible, powerful work that you're doing? And it's very different, isn't it, in some ways?
It is. It is. It's totally different. And it's totally doable, and it's totally possible for anyone to have this major shift in their life, no matter what stage and age you are. And for me, I married the guy of my dreams. I married this tall, handsome guy who was a hard-working farmer. I married a dairy farmer, so you know that life is quite, involved and quite strenuous in the amount of demands on it. Plus, added to that, a full-time registered nurse job, and you add that, and then a few other personal tragedies which happened, which was my husband experienced a life-threatening accident on the farm where he broke his neck, and I was pregnant with twins at the same time, pregnant, and so a year and a day from the day that my husband broke his neck to the day after that anniversary, we lost one of our twins to surgery.
Oh, dear. Oh, my.
And that is 25 years ago. 25 years, a whole quarter century of that loss and that life-changing event, which led to my husband not grieving very well, and we had problems with his parents on the farm, and we had built a house on the farm, and we had to walk away from it when the farm was sold, because we never owned our home, because it was a chattel on the farm. And losing the child, and then my husband developed severe mental illness, and all this time, we're trying to, move forward, trying to find the magic key to life to make life better, easier. In between that time, we added 2 more children to our family, and and so you can just imagine, we all have these stories. Everyone has something. And we went through this whole thing about mental illness and trying to find answers and trying to find the right doctor and trying to fight the right pill and, making it better, and trying divorce, and that failed. So that didn't even work. We stuck it through. I was in this to find the answers, and all the time I was losing me. I was losing me to managing being my husband's doctor and nurse versus his wife and lover, trying to be the best mom and dad to my children when dad wasn't able to be a dad, and still trying to maintain this really stressful career, trying to find the right hours to work, the right job, the right department in the hospital, and on and on and on. Then the miracle happened for me that changed my life, and that was a 5-minute Reiki session that happened while on what they called a stress break at my hospital. And in that 5 minutes, the Reiki practitioner introduced herself and described to us what Reiki was, because many of us didn't even know what this lady was doing, let alone, what it was. And we called her the freaky voodoo lady.
Right. What's going on? What's this about?
Exactly, because what she was doing was completely alien to the nurse and me, and that is, nurses learn Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that man is a psychosocial spiritual being. But as a nurse, we were taught not to look at that in total combination, but more as a fragmented picture. So, if somebody came in with say, a depression, Well, yeah, then we magnified on the depression and the psychological portion, but not really maybe the pain body, the soul body, the spiritual body, all those other pieces that make up that have a say in how it manifests in us. So, so that freaky voodoo lady then came down to our staff lounge, introduced herself, asked for a volunteer, and at that point, I was in my lowest point. The day before, my husband was in hospital yet again, and he was so mad at me for having him in hospital again because he couldn't understand. His reality was his reality, but his reality was so alien to the reality of myself and the kids and the reality that we perceived as being reality, that he basically looked at me, took the wedding ring off his finger, and threw it at me.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. Oof.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Especially since I had to go through extreme measures to get him hospitalized that time.
Oh.
He was really thinking I was in the mafia, that we were all microchipped, that we were being monitored and spied on by the CIA, and that he was driving. He is a truck driver still, but he was driving truckloads of illegal drugs stashed in the contents of the load. And so, that paranoia and level of unreality was just not something that I could allow to continue because it was really hurting everyone around him.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. So I had to go through the courts to get him hospitalized and everything. And my oldest son, who was 14 at the time, had to testify. And and so right away, then that puts us all in a higher level of suspicion in my husband's eyes.
Of course.
And, yeah, from which you hope you recover, with the right meds, the right drugs, whatever. But it's always there to some extent or another. And for a period of time, it was much, much better. And then the cycle repeated again because he decided he didn't need the drugs or he didn't need this, and then
such a common pattern, isn't it? It's so painful and so difficult for everybody.
It is. It's got to be one of the world's greatest tragedies. How the mind, how the mind is able to create heaven or hell.
That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the effects of it on the long term.
That's right. It just has such a devastating impact on children. I know for my own experience, I had the same experience as a child because my father also had mental illness. So I really understand what you're saying and what your family went through. It's the impossible situation, isn't it, Brenda?
It is. But you know what? The situation may be impossible, but that doesn't mean that it has to be impossible for you, for me, for anyone else. It's a matter, sometimes these situations come into our life, and actually, for as tragic as they are, we have to really look at them in hindsight for the gift that they also are. Because if it wasn't for that experience, I would not be here on your teleseminar right now.
Me neither. Yeah, that's right. If we hadn't had those experiences unfold in our lives, we wouldn't have had the impetus to learn something new or to begin to really pray for change and look for different answers or try anything like Reiki.
Yeah, exactly. And, the thing is, when you are ready, it's amazing, and I've heard this from so many people that I've interviewed, and you have too, that there's some extreme, deep, dark thing that happens, and when they go through this deep, dark night of the soul or whatever, answers come. If
True,
they ask,
yes.
and I was asking, my God, what was I asking? And little did I know that 5-minute Reiki session was going to transform my life and my family's, and and now it's helping people all over the world. And I'm so blessed. I am so blessed. I couldn't Reiki my husband well. I couldn't Reiki him into taking his meds. I couldn't do for him the things that he needed to do. It was totally his experience. But I had learned to take care of myself and to empower myself and to know that there is a brighter day, that there is another way, and that I do not have to be sucked into the mire and be an enabler of that process that was happening in my home. So 10 years ago, I experienced a 5-minute Reiki session, which basically made me feel like I was off on a 2-week vacation. In that 5 minutes, I felt so loved and safe and secure. It broke what I call now the pain, fear, anxiety triangle. It gave me a 5-minute space of ease and grace that I was not having in my day-to-day experience at that point. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know where to get the peace. I was lucky to go to bed at night and sleep without crying. And so that 5 minutes broke that barrier to allow me to see a brighter future. If I floated around the rest of that 12-hour shift, let me tell you, it was like everybody said, "What the heck got into you?" You know, I was like,
"How lovely!"
Oh, yes, that's what I said. Oh, I smiled and said, "Isn't it great?" And they go, "What?"
Oh, that's just, it's remarkable, but yet that is how energy work can impact someone. It can be so quick and so dramatic and so uplifting and positive. It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. Like, I was a diehard factual, analytical, scientific RN. If it didn't come from a pill bottle or from the mouth of a doctor, it just wasn't going to happen. And, to experience this and know that I didn't have to take a pill, I didn't have to go see a shrink, I didn't have to have psychoanalysis, I didn't have to take time away even from the work that I was doing to be able to experience this. Oh, my God. Let me tell you, I floated for the next day and a half. Day and a half. Oh, my gosh. And then I had, and so my experience was, after that 5 minutes, I said to the gal, "My gosh, what'd you do?" And she says, "Well, this is called life force healing, energy life force healing, and I can explain it more to you when you come next Tuesday for a full 20-minute session." I said, "Okay, sign me up. I'm there."
I'll be there, right. Yeah, definitely.
So that started the journey, because I would go every Tuesday for a session, and I feel better and better and better for longer and longer periods of time, to the point that I did not feel bad anymore. And yes, everything else was still caving in around me, but you know what? I was strong. I was relaxed, and in that state, I was able to deal with things in a much less fear-ridden way than I would have if I didn't have it. And I made better choices, and I slept, and it was a lifesaver. I bless the day that Sandy Massey came into my life, and she's now been my Reiki master, teacher, extraordinaire, and friend. So, it's amazing. And all I can say is, if it can happen for me, and it can happen for anyone, to find this sense of ease and grace and peace, which ultimately opens up to discovering your own success soul signature. And this is why I'm here today, is to give you not only the opportunity to experience some Reiki, which we're going to do in a moment, but also to let you know that the great potentials of all this are, it can open up new avenues for you in any aspect of your life. I just know it opened up and changed every aspect of my life. And so for that, now I'm sharing the word of this with the world and creating opportunities and expanding into my own personal success and bliss that I always knew was inside my sacred space, and that I knew that when the world was crumbling down, when I looked inside my sacred chamber and knew who I really was, I smiled, because I knew my truth is different than what was being perceived around me, that nobody can steal the truth of me within me. And so this is the success that I want to offer everyone here today. Get in touch with their own success signature, soul signature. Discover the truth of who they really are. Experience the bliss and relaxation of a group Reiki process. and to offer an opportunity for people to work more closely with me if this is something that resonates well with them.
Wonderful. For listeners who are new to all of this, and there are always some that are, can you share what exactly is Reiki?
Yes, I would love to. Reiki is a Japanese word which means universal life force healing. And it was actually discovered by a Japanese gentleman, a monk in the early 1900s. But he was looking for another solution. He was a Qigong practitioner, and if anybody knows what Qigong is, it's where the practitioner builds up energy and pushes that energy into the recipient or the client to push out their negative energy. And so what Mikao Usui found was that he could only do 2 people per day, and then that this was very limiting and very tiring for him. And so he went on a personal quest. He started traveling around many countries to find if he could find another healing modality that wouldn't drain him, because he felt his life force was being drained, and ultimately sometimes, too, he was taking on some of the stuff that he was trying to help other people get rid of. And so he went around, and he couldn't find it. Came back very disheartened and went into seclusion and prayed for an answer he wanted for this gift that ultimately became Reiki. But and he did get it. He just and then he did some amazing things in Japan. He opened up many healing centers and trained practitioners and all this sort of thing. And World War II basically wiped it out of Japan. If it wasn't for a lady, an American Japanese citizen who lived in Hawaii, who went back to visit her mom and dad and was insistent on learning this modality, Reiki would not be around today. It really wouldn't be.
Oh, goodness.
That's how fine line it was. And now it's gone full circle. And since the 1980s, it's done a huge revival and loop and is now back in Japan, back to its roots, and stronger than ever.
Wonderful.
Yeah. What it does is basically I become like the jumper cables, that you use when you try to restart a dead battery in one car and from a live battery in another car. So I'm the jumper cables, and I connect to the dead battery or the low battery of the person who's having the issues of disharmony and disease and all those disses that hold us back. And I plug into the universal energy source, which is all around us. It's just amazing. I know in a previous call I shared how, if you see those banks of hydro wires that are coming, the big corridors of wires, and if you hold a fluorescent light bulb underneath that, it's not touching those wires, and yet the energy is so free flow that it will light up that light bulb. So it is with us. That energy is so around us that I'm basically tapped into or connected to that battery source, that never-ending energy flow. It flows through me, and I step out of the way. I let my ego go out of the way. I don't think about what the person needs. I trust and believe that the universal life force all around us is so infinitely smart and intelligent. It knows what the person needs. And so what I do is just connect, allow the flow, and that person receives exactly what they need. And we do a little grounding to make sure that they're anchored on the earth and in the earth, not just on top of the earth, or when we're feeling in disharmony, we're not grounded. So grounding and allowing that flow of energy to flow is a life changer, because what it does is it actually raises your vibrational frequency. So like dial on a radio set at one station, and when you go out of range, it becomes very staticky. Well, what happens is you raise that frequency by plugging into somebody with an energy flow, and it raises you up to the next clear-sounding station in your body's frequency mode.
Okay.
Yeah. It allows that beautiful music which is within you, your true soul signature. And your soul signature has a song. It has a beautiful frequency that resonates. And so basically bringing you up to the next clear frequency allows you to play your beautiful life song, to show your soul signature, and to be more in charge and alignment and in tune with yourself and all that is within you and around you and for you and attracts to you the things that are going to help you in this new frequency. That's it.
That's fantastic. Wow. And Reiki is able to be done long distance?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. Actually, when I do a person in a one-on-one situation, we do have the prejudices of, say I'm wearing a perfume that offends them. They smell that.
Mm-hmm.
Or, they may be nervous and anxious, and so they're, putting up that kind of a frequency or down that frequency as well. And, it can be a little bit more biased in a one-on-one, although very, very effective in miracles. I call them miracles. Miracles are ordinary things that appear extraordinary, do happen in a one-on-one session. And so it is very, very, very significant. But what I find is that with technology the way it is and the energy, which is interconnected to all of us, what I do is I can do distance energy quicker, and the person receives it in a quite much more magnificent and crystal clear way, because the frequency does not have the resistance of prejudice or barriers or any of that sort of thing that we do in our 3D human density. So
yes.
It's very effective because we have the beauty of the Internet now. We have unlimited long-distance calling plans. We have Skype. We have all these wonderful things. And I find that it's very effective one-on-one at a distance or even in group settings at a distance. So everybody that's here on this call today is going to benefit. But not only that, but because of the energy being encoded in this call, future listeners will also benefit. Isn't that terrific?
I absolutely love it. And I totally agree that and it may have to do with just our evolving consciousness, and it may also be in part the energetic changes that are happening on our planet and around us. But I agree that distance energy work does seem to be even becoming more powerful and more effective in many ways, because there is not that distraction of the five senses, when you're working one-on-one. It's remarkable. And this is something that I just am becoming so much more aware of. So listeners, this is something that is absolutely fantastic. It's something, I think, relatively new. It's something that's just been developed over the last few years, and the power of it seems to be increasing really quickly.
Absolutely.
So there's help. There's help for whatever is happening in your life, whether it's a health situation, whether it's finances and difficulties with work situations, employment, whether it's relationship problems, whether it's just happiness, personal happiness, and feeling more connected to the whole. All of these things can be helped by this distance energy work that Brenda and so many other beautiful people are now bringing to our attention and awareness. So I know, Brenda, you also do another method that is really fascinating and also can be done via distance, and that's the quick pulse work. Could you just take a moment to share a little bit of information about that as well?
I would love to. Yes, the quick pulse technique is quantum energetics disciplines. One of the key modalities, it's the ground floor modality that was developed by Jo Dunning. And Jo Dunning is an amazing, amazing woman who was already on a very strong spiritual path when a home invasion happened, which actually killed her partner and left Jo for near dead. And so I think this was about 20 years ago. And during that time of her near-deathness, I'm sure I've heard the story a few times, and what happened was she was gifted because she had broken through the veil of life and was seeing the other side, and was gifted with a modality and told to come back and share it with the world. And that was developed as the quantum energetics disciplines, and the quick pulse being the primary one modality. So with that, basically what a person does, and this is beautiful because so many times we're told to keep a happy vibe and to think positively and, things will change and that sort of thing. And although that is true, when we're in that state of disharmony and really having, in the muck and mire, it's hard to keep positive. It's hard to hold that. Oh, my gosh.
That's right.
So when we sit with somebody doing quick pulse, and again, this can be, I work one-on-one. As I learn more pieces to it, I can add more pieces to it where I can do group quantum energetics and quick pulse. But right now, as a fledgling practitioner, and although fledgling doesn't mean that it isn't powerful, it's extremely powerful, I can sit in silence with somebody, hold space for them while they call to mind everything, an issue that is troubling them. And then in their mind, they're thinking about all the ways that it is bothering them. And we sit in silence for about 2-3 minutes maybe at the most, and then I call you back. And what happens with that is I'll say, how are you feeling now? What comes to mind now when you think about that situation? And many, many times either another negative feeling comes up and we work on that, or they feel lighter already and just sit in a state of, wow, this is amazing. And what happens is the energy starts when we sit in that 3 minutes, but it doesn't end there. It continues to work for days, months, years even, uncovering and unraveling the threads of that issue and bringing new insights and peace and, clearings and opportunity that were not seen when they were sitting in that vibe. So very powerful, very life-changing.
That's exciting.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, I know that you have a gift for us of an experience of your work, and I would love it if you could share that with us now, Brenda.
I would be so honored, and so, I hope that this graces and blesses you, and I hope to hear from you if you've experienced some wonderful benefits from what we're going to share right now. I would love to add your testimony to my page of testimonials and share the greatness and the joy of this work with others. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to create a real beautiful group process. And where two or more are gathered in thy name, God is, and the God of your understanding is here with us right now. And as we create this beautiful circle, we are going to be surrounded and encased in another circle, and it's going to be the circle of loving beings of love and light, angels and archangels, fairies, ascended masters, all those energetic beings that are here to positively support us. And so this is great sacred space to create here with you right now, Melinda, and I thank you for the opportunity. So everyone, wherever you are, whenever you are here listening in this moment right now of creation in space, sit with your right palm up and your left palm down. If you're driving or operating heavy equipment, please do not do this. You can come back and revisit this when you have that moment to spare and spend this time. But you can listen along with us right now. So we are creating this beautiful circle, which is encasing and involving and entwining all around the earth. And I would like us all to just acknowledge each other's presence by bowing to the right and bowing to the left. And in deep gratitude and love, I would love for you right now, if you wish to be a part of this process, to give conscious consent from your heart right now. Knowing that if it is not your time right now, it's okay. The energy is going to be very respectful, and it will allow you to exist and coexist in this beautiful event right now without being involved. So all is welcome and all is perfect right now. So we are connecting and creating this beautiful circle, energetically entwining, and feel the energy flow in through your right palm and out through your left. in this beautiful cascading swirl of love and energy and light flowing up into, through our heart and down out of our other hand. And together, right now, I want you to take a deep breath in and go to that sacred space. You know where it is instinctively behind your heart. Feel it, acknowledge it, honor it, call it for what it is now. Now, this is the first time you've ever experienced this. Know this is where your soul essence lives. It is the place where your soul essence enters when you're conceived, and it leaves when you die. It is the home. And when we say you're going home to your heart, this is it. This is the space. This is the gorgeous, gorgeous creation of who you really are. Take a deep breath in right now and feel your truth. Feel who you really are. Feel the strength, the vibrancy, the unending swirl of your essence and truth, your values, your beliefs are all secondary to who you really are. And in this moment, we are going to honor each other by sharing our love, our true essence with the world. So taking a deep breath in through your nose and push that breath out through your heart, sharing the beaming love light from your heart space and having it encase and swirl and touch everyone else in the circle of love and healing and light that is here right now. You are now being encased with love from each other, from humanity, from the soul essence of who we really are, supporting and loving and guiding us in this moment. Taking a big, beautiful breath in again, come back into your own heart space. And may you feel the true magnificence of who you are in this beautiful body of flesh, blood, and bone, which is here in this 3D existence, but yet not of this existence. And so in this moment now, with our hearts and minds entwined and our energies entwined, I'm going to grace us all as we sit in silence and peace with a group Reiki session. And so all you need to do is just relax. Just relax. Close your eyes for a few minutes. Feel the joy in your heart space, and I will start the process now. And so it is. So taking a deep, beautiful breath in through your nose and out your mouth. Wiggle your fingers and toes and come back into slowly open your eyes and come back into the world around you. And so what some people may experience is they may feel swirls, they may feel great deep relaxation, they may feel a smile come on their face, or they may have released tears, they may have yawned, they may have coughed, or they may have done nothing at all. They may have seen or heard things like music in their ears, or seen colors swirling around, or felt nothing at all, or seen nothing at all, or heard nothing at all. It's all perfect. It's all right. The thing is, right now, a great amount of energy has shifted collectively in the world just now. And it has been released, not to return. And you may know that you feel a little lighter, or you feel a little more relaxed. And that is exactly what's happening. Is there's a medical term called the relaxation response, and that is what this happens when we do Reiki or any kind of energy work, because the energy frequency is raised from less than the Schumann frequency, which is 7.83 hertz, and it's a measurable frequency, which is our optimal sound frequency that we each emit. And what happens is we, through creating this relaxation response, raise our vibrational frequency more in line with our ultimate frequency level. There again, raising that dial on the radio channel up to where it's crystal clear again. Now, the results may last for a few hours or a few days. It all will depend on you and how your body responds to this. And I'd like each of you to make sure that you drink a lot of water today, and just really pay attention to how you're feeling and how your day may just be a little bit more graced with ease and grace today because of this few brief minutes. And maybe you've noticed that there's a shift or break in your own stress level right now. That is just perfect and just divine. And so I hope that you all benefited from that experience. And I would, like I said before, love to hear your response. So, Melinda, how are you doing?
I actually felt much more calm and warm. I felt warmth. So it was very nice. Yeah, very, very nice. And I definitely would like to invite the listeners to pop your comments into the Q&A on the webcast, and I'll be happy to pass that on to Brenda, because it's really helpful as energy practitioners for us to just know what people's experiences are and their thoughts and feelings are about this wonderful work that we do. So please feel free to do that. And Brenda, it's always such a pleasure to just be in contact with you and to just be sharing this wonderful brightness, which is you. I so appreciate it. And I know you've put together a wonderful special offer package for our listeners. And this package includes your incredible Reiki energy work as well as the quick pulse work. So could I ask you to share with the listeners what's included and maybe just provide a little bit more of an explanation of the package?
Oh, I would love to. I feel like Santa Claus because I'm gifting you guys with this beautiful gift of not just 21 days of Reiki, which was my previous package, but 28 days of distance Reiki love and support. And what that means is you sign up, and for $97, which is only pennies per day for what you're going to get out of this, is if you experienced a wonderful shift in the last few minutes that we did that group process, can you imagine what will shift and change in your life in a 28-day period of being blanketed with distance Reiki energy and love? Oh, my gosh.
Sounds fantastic, and it will build on itself, too.
Absolutely. It's like, a snowball rolling down the mountain. It starts out small and tiny and packed and squished, and then it just rolls and rolls and rolls and grows and grows and grows. Well, that's what's happening with this. And so you'll notice, that your vibrational frequency will start to become raised on a consistent basis, whereby, old habits, old thoughts, old whatever yuck that's in your life will not have the same charge or pull or hold on you as it did prior to starting the process, which means, new opportunities are going to be open to you because you're raising yourself up to that crystal clear channel on the radio dial to hear the most beautiful soul song that you have within you, playing not just for a few minutes or a few hours, but for days and months and maybe even years on end. And this is what this can do for you. And so what can you imagine can happen? Start to write down what you would like to see in your life happen and see what comes. Because as you raise your frequency and your vibe, you attract to you new situations and opportunities and people and things. And it's not going to take you to have to go through the dark night of the soul to be able to have this transformation happen. This is like plug and play on a plug-and-play device on a computer, where we're just going to take that USB port and plug it into the device, and things will happen. That energy will flow. You will be able to create and write those new programs in your program of your life. And so for which that is one thing that we do. But I also offer through that 28 days an opportunity for you to join me live on webcast, where in a group environment again, I will work either one-on-one with people and also do a group meditation process and the group Reiki process as well. So not only do you have that access to the blanket of love, which you can just go on your everyday process and not even think about for 28 days, but I will send you emails and update you on when the start is, when the end is, different events that will be coming up where you can plug yourself into and experience an even greater boost of energy flow. Not only that, I know, I just can't stop giving here because you know what, I know how enriching this can be for so many people.
Oh, yeah.
So
wonderful.
Yeah, there's more yet, Melinda. So as Melinda mentioned, I do the quick pulse technique now, and so I'd love to combine that with this whole process too. So at the end of the 28 days, we'll be in touch, and either by phone or Skype or whatever works best for you, we can arrange a half-hour session where I will do quick pulse clearings with you. And a quick pulse clearing session of a half an hour can clear up to 5 major stumbling blocks that are holding you back, that are hurting you, and that sort of thing. And remember, that quick pulse will go to work for years, months, days, whatever it takes to unravel that thread. So not only is this a 28-day process, but it's an ongoing, beyond belief process. So I really encourage your listeners, if they are ready for change and transformation and want to get in touch with their true soul song signature and success signature as well, and just make massive happenings happen for them, please consider this beautiful offer. I give it from my heart, and it is a gift from the universe. So there you go.
Oh, thank you, Brenda. This is really an incredible package, and it's an incredible value, too, because I know normally a 1-hour Reiki session, the cost for that is $75. You're getting 28 days plus the live support calls, and a single quick pulse technique session with Brenda is $127, I believe. Yes.
Yes.
So you're really getting a tremendous amount of value for that $97, and so she's been so generous to put all of this together for us, for you to just transform your life, to really connect deeply with your own soul signature at a price which is just remarkable. So thank you, Brenda. This is really generous, and wow, what a great package.
It is so fun, and it's so wonderful. And I mean, my life has changed, and I know, if I can help somebody else to find their soul success signature and make some massive change, even if it's one person better, one person more, and raising their vibration actually touches 10,000 people.
Isn't that wonderful? I love that. There's so much power and grace and so many blessings available with this work. It's fantastic. And I want to share something that when I read this, it touched me, and I so agree with it. This is a testimonial, and I just want to share this with the listeners. Have you ever met an earth angel? I have. To me, an earth angel is simply a pure soul in human form living among us as a truly divine being, someone who acts out of kindness and knows no fear when help is needed, someone who is kind, compassionate, and caring just because that is all inside her to give. A being who goes out of her way to ensure that others are happy when there's absolutely no returns on this earth for her, someone who's kind to others with her thoughts, words, and deeds. There's one person who fits that description. Her name is Brenda Pearce, a great mother, wife, and daughter. I have dubbed her the beautiful, golden-hearted Brenda Pearce, my earth angel. And this is from someone who has been blessed by Brenda's work, Christine in Trinidad. And I just thought that was so lovely, and it is a perfect description of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
It's so lovely. And you were a nurse for many years, which is a caring profession. And you've taken that obvious, deep care and love for others, and you've transformed it into this powerhouse work that you're now doing. It's so exciting, and it is so wonderful, and we're just so blessed to have you doing this work for us, helping all of us here on the planet. Thank you so much, Brenda.
Oh, well, you're so very welcome for all that you do. I thank you, and with great richness of heart. This is only just the beginning, people. This is all this beautiful work that we're all embarking on. It's just expanding exponentially, and every day there's just another beautiful new piece to the puzzle, and you are a piece of that magnificent puzzle. I know for years I was a teleseminar junkie. I listened to every seminar I could and thought, what if, and maybe someday, and oh, wouldn't it be great? But now, step into that essence of who you really are and your soul signature and really embrace the magnificence of who you really are. Your gifts will unfold like magic, like stars in the sky and snowflakes as they fall, each one unique and beautiful as you are.
Oh, yes, and so it is. Aho, as they say. Thanks, Brenda. And listeners, do take advantage of this incredible special offer. If you're on the webcast, you can click right into the link, Emboldened Heart /Brenda. If you're listening by phone, just know that you can come back to the link that you found, the phone number, the dial-in information, and just click into access the special offer. There will be a replay email that will be going out within the hour, and that will also make it really easy for you. It'll have the link to the replay, and also the link to the special offer package will be right there in the body of the email. So do take advantage of Brenda's beautiful and loving work. You will be miraculously touched and changed for the better. So just think about how you want to change, what your heart's desire is, and just invite it in. So thank you so much, listeners, for being with us today. And Brenda, thank you. Bless you. And I just can't wait to see what you are going to be coming up with next. It's always fun and full of love and power.
Thank you, and namaste to every one of you. Big hugs and much love.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye for now.